Hi, my name is Jacob Immersa, and this is my commemorative speech on Hidetaka Miyazaki. Anyone who has any knowledge of gaming in recent years is sure to have heard the name Dark Souls before. Dark Souls, along with Demon Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and just this weekend Elden Ring, are all games a part of the Soulsborne series created by the game studio From Software. These games have revolutionized gaming, spawning many copycat games and redefining the action role-playing genre as a whole. But just who is the mastermind who spearheaded the creation of these games? That would be none other than Hidetaka Miyazaki. Miyazaki is surely one of the greatest game designers of our time, and to prove such a grandiose statement, I'll explain how Miyazaki excels in world design, environmental storytelling, and difficult but very satisfying gameplay. So let's start with the world design. When Miyazaki approaches creating a new world, he understands that without a cohesive, sensical map, no one is going to believe the world could actually exist. As he states in the Dark Souls Design Works interview, the map design was really what dictated everything else. Once we determined what needed to happen in each area, we would immediately draw up a rough map, then once the basic layout of the area was decided, we'd work on the finer details. It's this understanding that the world needs to make geographical sense before you can pretty it up and add all the nice things, is what makes his game so believable and easy to get lost in. As for his environmental storytelling, Miyazaki grew up reading a lot of comics, manga, and fantasy novels as he wasn't allowed to play video games. Being a child, he couldn't always read all of the kanji and understand the novels that he was reading, so he'd use his imagination to fill in the gaps. Now this comes into play because he wanted to translate this to his games. Miyazaki states, and I quote, "My goal is to bring that kind of experience to video games, where you use your imagination to complete the missing parts. Rather than straightforwardly tell you the story and themes that are in his games, he allows the player to explore his intricately crafted world and piece together what's going on for themselves. This allows for the player to imprint some of their own wonder and imagination, making the story partly their own." The Soulsborne series of games are notorious for being grueling games to beat, coining the phrase, "this is the Dark Souls of whatever difficult task it is that you're doing." And while funny, this really misinterprets the point of the difficulty in these games. In a January 28th, 2022 interview with PlayStation Blog, a question about Elden Ring's difficulty and accessibility got this response from Miyazaki. "I feel like our approach to these games, not just Elden Ring, is to design them to encourage the player to overcome adversity. We don't try to force difficulty or make things hard for the sake of it. And you can trust me when I say that I have struggled for hours at a time with just single boss battles. I'm talking just one guy. I have sat down trying to fight this guy for hours and hours and hours of just trial and error. And the absolute feeling of joy and triumph when you finally master that fight is something I've never gotten from any other game before in my life. His games are difficult to encourage improvement rather than to stonewall you with a trick question or bullshit mechanics. Pardon my French." So, in closing, it's Miyazaki's understanding of believable world design, subtle environmental storytelling, and creation of fulfilling challenges to overcome that truly make his creations stand out from the crowd as one of the best game designers of our time, and maybe even all time. I'd say so myself. This genius-level understanding is even more surprising given that he left his previous job at 29 years old to become a game developer after he was inspired by another game called Eco. As his script editor Emma Kodoka states, "In Japan, even today, people usually join a company as a graduate and stay for life. For Miyazaki to change a career and within 10 years become company president, that's unprecedented in Japan. It's inspiring." And it really is because, uplifting your entire life and then becoming a president of the company 10 years later is crazy. And I truly look to this man for inspiration in my own life every day. Thank you. That was my commemorative speech on Hidetaka Miyazaki, and I hope you learned something and enjoyed. Goodbye.